Coming up on the Godly Conversations podcast.
Many times we think we understand the purpose of marriage. But at the end of the day, we don't really understand the purpose of marriage. Let's take the man, for instance. Do you know a man? A man that does not even know himself. How do you define a woman? A woman that is crying, and in her tears, she was actually expressing joy. And then, or a woman that is expressing joy, and inside her heart, you have all sorts of pains. How do you describe such a person?
Mysterious.
Do you understand?
Yeah. In your perspective, what is marriage?
Marriage is an institution established by a mysterious God to take place between two mysterious people. If anyone will come to you and tell you that he understands marriage, I will beg to differ. You can only speak from your own standpoint, what you've seen, what you've experienced, and that is why my experience in marriage will be different from yours. Because people don't understand that marriage itself is mysterious, we begin to bring philosophy into it. A lot of people will like to push their experience in marriage on others, and at the end of the day, it may not work.
How can I find my purpose partner?
Your starting point is not to discover someone else. Your starting point is for you to
Godly Conversations. We're saturated with so many voices, inundated in the midst of the noises. We need the truth to saturate our hearts. Yeah. In the midst of the noises, we need a buffer, the voice of reasoning. You speak to the culture, shining the light of the kingdom. We're here to curate a message of hope through a conversation. Though the world may be lost, it's not lost on us. The divine God is with us. God, Father, Son, and Spirit. The Spirit is my helper. Jesus Christ, my succor. Father is my anchor. Godly conversation brings transformation. You're welcome here. I love you.
Hi, welcome everyone to the Godly Conversation podcast with Uwem, and today I have a guest that I'm so excited about. My pastor decided to visit my house today. So I'm really happy about that. I'm really glad to have him sit on my couch and have a conversation with him that is going to help. I will introduce to some and present to others Pastor Dele, Pastor D from Vision House Parish, Redeemed Christian Church of God. So I'm so happy to have you around.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. And thank you for your hospitality.
You don't have to mention that. So, it's a pleasure of mine to really have you, because there are so many conversations that we've been having that I feel like has been beneficial to me. And I believe if other people are privy to hear this, so it's almost like you guys are eavesdropping on my conversation with Pastor Dele. And I believe this conversation is going to bless you. Today we want to talk about marriage and purpose. But first of all, I do like to ask everybody that come up here, how are you? So sir, how are you doing?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Okay, you good?
Yes, very well.
Okay, that's great. So a lot of time people lie about that.
But I'm good.
Okay.
And I think you should know that too.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I do know you're good. So you're a good man, you're a wise man. And first of all, I would like to say this. I know you wouldn't like me to say this, but I'll say it. I really respect you, because as much as you have the softest conversation voice, but then you are the most humble guy I've met. Like, the most humble person I've met, and your wisdom and your mindset, your perspective is incredible. Thank you so much for modeling what it means to be a real man that someone else, a young man like me can look at and be like, okay, I'm learning from you. I'm learning from your leadership in particular, because I've seen you lead with wisdom And a lot of people feel like leaders have to like be strong and look like macho men before maybe be loud before they can lead well. But I've seen you really be soft in terms of your voice, but then you lead well. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. So first of all, I would like you, how many years have you been married?
Not for so many years, but I think about 15 years now.
Wow.
And I think it's short.
15 years is what 15 years is worth celebrating, honestly. 15 years is a long time.
That says 2009.
Oh.
It should be 15 years by
Yeah,
now.
that's a long time. That's a long time. That's great. So, which means you celebrated your 15 years anniversary this year.
Yes. That's
15
in
more years to
April.
go.
That happened in April.
Okay, no problem. So I said 15 more years to go, like.
That will be fine. Beautiful.
Yeah, God to keep
Yes.
your life to live long and then
Amen.
celebrate more anniversaries. Honestly. So I believe you've been talking about a lot of things, advising me. And I believe you have a well of wisdom that I can tap from, and others that are listening can also tap from and be blessed. So in your perspective, what is marriage itself? Maybe you might like to go anywhere with the question, whether with the idea of the scriptures, your own personal perspective. What is marriage?
Well, that's a very deep question.
Okay.
I know that there are so many books on marriage in actual sense. And I've had so many preachers, on marriage. But from my home perspective, if you want me to speak from my home perspective,
Yeah.
I would say that marriage in itself is a mystery. Why? Because the person that instituted, person in quotes,
Yeah.
happened to be a mystery. And then he created two mysterious people, asking them to come together as individuals, and they are becoming one. That will let you know that marriage is what? Is a mystery. If anyone will come to you and tell you that he understands marriage, I will beg to differ. Why? Because we are talking of two mysterious people. If you read any book on marriage, that person will only be talking based on his own experience, perspective, maybe what he has read somewhere and all of that. But marriage in itself is something I can say nobody understands. You can only speak from your own standpoint, what you've seen, what you've experienced, and that is why my experience in marriage will be different from yours. Because people don't understand that marriage itself is mysterious, we begin to bring philosophy into it. We begin to bring sociology into it. We begin to bring psychology into it. Bringing all of this together, we still not answer the question about marriage. Because at the end of the day, if you want to pattern marriage based on what so person has told you, you will discover that you may still go wrong. So the question is, what is marriage? Marriage is an institution established by a mysterious God to take place between two mysterious people. And then the outcome will still be mysterious because it can be anything. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I think I will want to leave it at that for now. Maybe in the course of our discussion. But then I've seen that a lot of people will like to push their experience in marriage on others. And at the end of the day, it may not work. While I was in school, I met a young lady, and then, we got married. And then, 2 years later, we got divorced. And then, 2 years later, we got married again. And then, 2 years later, we got divorced. And then, 2 years later, we got married again. And then, 2 years later, we got divorced. And then, 2 years later, we got married again. And then, 2 years later, we got divorced. And then, 2 years later, we got married again. And then, 2 years later, we got divorced. And then, 2 years later, we got married again. And then, 2 years later, we got divorced. And then, 2 years later, we got married again. And then, 2 years later, we got divorced. And then, 2 years later, we got married again. And then, 2 years later, we got divorced. And then, 2 years later, we got married again. And then, 2 years later, we got divorced. And then, 2 years later, we got married again. And then, 2 years later you know, she wanted to act in a way that, based on the experience of the elder sisters.
Yep.
And she was using the experience of her elder sister to approach the issue of marriage. I had to call her to order. You can't use your elder sister experience when it comes to issue of marriage for yourself. You are not the same thing. You may look alike. Maybe your DNA, the same father, from the same father, the same mother. But I bet you, your experience is bound to be different. And that is how mysterious marriage is. It's so mysterious. Difficult to define. Better than what I've just said. If you tell me you understand what marriage is, I will tell you it's not true.
Wow. Okay, so people, you can see, I say this man is wise. This is just the beginning of like the blessing. You're saying that marriage is instituted by a God that is mysterious, bringing two mysterious people together. So my question would be, another question would be, what do you mean by two mysterious people? Like, I understand you're talking about different people, different aspects of it. Is it uniqueness or what else?
Okay, mysterious in the sense that, let's take the man for instance.
Yep.
Do you know a man? A man that does not even know himself. There's a portion of the scripture that says that the heart of man is desperately wicked. Who
True.
can know it?
Yeah.
Even a man that doesn't understand himself, a man that doesn't know himself, and you want to say you know the man, is a mysterious being.
Yeah.
And I've had various teaching on women, their psychology, their mannerism,
Yeah.
the way they behave. How do you define a woman? A woman that is crying, and in her tears, she was actually expressing joy. And then, or a woman that is expressing joy, and inside her heart, you have all sorts of pains. How do you describe such a person?
Mysterious.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And then when she's telling you she's going, she meant this, she meant something else. Do you understand? The more reason why, if you have observed very well, when people are in courtship, everything looks so beautiful. And from the night of getting married, they begin to look at it. Is this the wife I'm married? Is this the man I'm married?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Why? Because God fashioned us to be mysterious beings.
Yeah.
And that is why marriage consummated outside God may have issues. Do you understand? Because a man that doesn't really know himself, marrying a woman that you can't really define.
True.
I've met people that were married for 20 years, 30 years, and they are still discovering their wives. And some wives are still discovering their husband. How do you explain this? Do you get what you are saying? So, the mystery, part of it has to do with creation of a man, the creation of a woman. Do you understand? That's part of the mystery. Then when we now begin to push further, we now begin to talk about the uniqueness, the individuality. Even children, of the same parents may not behave the same way.
Same way, true.
Even twins.
True.
Do you understand?
True.
So, by creation, by extension to the uniqueness of different beings. And that is why you can't pattern your whole marriage
After somebody
after
else.
somebody else's.
So, because Mr. A's marriage is not the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Like B. Oh. That's helpful, because for the people who are like looking at other people's marriages and like comparing, and contrasting. These people are doing this in their marriage and the rest are doing that. So why not we do? And I love the point that you made about some people who write books and who speak about marriage and they want to like force down their ideology of marriage into some other people who are not like them, who don't believe the same thing like them, because I feel like that's what destroys a lot of homes. Because now you're picking up an ideology that does not even align with who you are. Since at first, like, I also love the fact that you talked about the man who doesn't know himself and he's getting married. And since you brought that up, I would really like us to talk about men because I want to learn as a young man. I'm not married. We hear a lot of things of like women, this is what to do to meet the one. This is how to be to meet the one and all of that. And then I have two questions, but let me ask this first one. What should a man do before he gets married? And I want to make this question, like, give it a layer. A lot of people just feel like if you have a job as a man, you should get married. Even growing up from where I come from in Akwa Ibom, many people, once you grow up and then you have a job, they'll be like, go get married. Like everybody's like pushing you. When are we coming to eat the party rice? When are we coming for your wedding? When are you getting married? When? I'm like, do you even know if I'm ready for marriage, if I'm ripe for marriage? So for a man, because they don't really talk to the men about how to meet the one and pursuing meeting the one, they talk to women. So when can a man know that he's ready to marry?
Well, I think if I must say, if I must answer this question, the first thing I think a man should do is to first unveil a part of the mystery.
Okay.
And which part of the mystery? Discover yourself. Remember I said something concerning two mysterious people.
Yeah.
Abi?
Yeah, true.
Your starting point is not to discover someone else. Your starting point is for you to discover yourself. So you need first to unveil that layer of mystery. You first. Not the woman first. Discover yourself. Because it's at the point of self-discovery that every other thing will follow. And self-discovery is deep.
Oh yeah. Talk about that, sir.
Because in self-discovery, that is when you begin to understand purpose.
Oh.
So, self-discovery, discover yourself, unveil that mystery. Who am I?
So
who am I?
This doesn't have to do with anything about getting a job?
That is not the starting point.
Whoa.
Because it's after you have unveiled that first layer of mystery about you being the man. It's in that you begin to talk about work or job. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's because we fail to unveil that first layer of mystery that we find most people doing the wrong thing, being in the wrong place, doing the wrong thing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that will automatically affect all aspects of their lives. Take it from me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've answered your question.
I do. Like you answered the question.
But the starting point is to unveil
you
that first layer of mystery. You first.
Yeah.
You first. Take a journey of self-discovery. That is the starting point. And self-discovery has nothing to do with, I've been educated. I've just been out of school.
I have doctorate degree.
It can happen anytime if it has not happened.
Oh, yeah.
You may discover self even before going to higher institution. It can be done after leaving higher institution. When you discover yourself, you may get to know that even that job you are doing, you are not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
You are not even supposed to be there in the first place.
I believe this.
It's self-discovery that will help you in doing that. That association you belong, maybe you are not even meant to be there because it doesn't align with your purpose.
Good.
So the journey of self-discovery is a starting point for a man. And it's very, very important.
So this thing about self-discovery seems like it's a really deep stuff. You know, I love this conversation already because talking about self-discovery, we're talking about marriage and purpose, and there are other questions I want to ask, but then self-discovery, like you say, is deep. It's not shallow. It's not on the surface. And I believe what you said because there are a lot of men who are married and they have not discovered themselves. Same thing with women, but then we can talk about men because we are men. So a lot of men have been married and they have not found themselves. They have found a job because I feel like most times men are told once you get a job that God gave a man a job first before he gave the man Eve. So then they will tell the man, if you found a job, you can find your Eve. You can go and get married. So now you're telling me that getting a job shouldn't be the first aspect before you get married. It should be when I find me, and that would almost like define every other thing about me. The job that I choose, the career path that I choose, which means when I was growing up, when I was asked, what do you want to be? I said, I want to be an engineer because that time the profession that people talk about is like engineer, doctor, this and that. So also, of course, your parents want to be proud. You want your parents to be proud of you. So I'm like, I want to be an engineer. Of course, I went to study engineering, but maybe if I knew better, if I had found myself, I wouldn't have stuck myself in the idea of, I just want to be an engineer without a sense of purpose, because I find out that I'm good at music. I'm good at doing media. I love doing media. Like I was checking some of my pictures. That time there was no phone. So I would be going to a plaza in my place, Ibom Plaza in Uyo, to just go and take picture. And I just love it. That is me. So anybody that might see me take pictures now might think like, oh, I didn't just develop that. I didn't just start doing that. I used to pay transport, just go and take picture and go back home.
Wow.
Not as if I was doing anything else. So now this aspect is really like, it's a blessing to me because discovering self, I feel like I'm coming to a place of discovering myself at this point. So now I want to ask this other question. Does marriage make someone responsible? Because that is what people do say. That is what they used to tell men for them to get married. Like get married so that you will be responsible. So it means if you're single, you're irresponsible. Or I don't know.
You know, that is why if you go back to what I said earlier, many times we think we understand the purpose of marriage. But at the end of the day, we don't really understand the purpose of marriage. And then all around us, not Eden, we've seen so many responsible married men.
True.
Many irresponsible married women.
True.
It now depends on what aspect of being responsible that people are talking about. You know, the general belief is that once you get married, you won't spend your money on thin-legged girls again.
Yeah.
You concentrate attention on your wife. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then I think it has to do with aspect of basically maybe sexual immorality, and then being able to concentrate your investment into one lady.
Okay.
Anything beyond that, I will tell you that marriage does not make anyone responsible.
Okay. I love this.
Do you understand? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Because we still have many responsible married
men and
men.
women.
We still have many responsible married women. You know, they may pretend to be. The societal expectation is that once you get married, then they tag you as being responsible. You have done what others are doing.
Yeah.
You know, but when we begin to define responsibility, you know, And then in responsibility, you'll be talking of accountability. There is an aspect of being responsible that has to do with loyalty, and all of that. So when we enlarge or bring that word into the full scale, you will discover that marriage doesn't make any man responsible. If you are not responsible before getting married, the possibility of being responsible in marriage,
zero to none.
It's almost zero.
Zero to none. I believe you, because I've always been, I wanted to hear your view on that, because even some married men feel like, if you're single, maybe you're wasting your money. And I love the fact that you dissected it, that the society is scared of men, involving themselves in sexual immorality. So they feel like you're going to be spending your money on other women because you're single and you're working. And I can say it for a lot of young men, that there are a lot of young men who are responsible. Like myself, not priding on myself. I have friends also who are responsible. They are going after their future. They have things they want to do. Also, of course, we have, because this is about personalities. We have people, young men, who don't actually know what to do with their life. And I love that you said, being married will not solve their problem. It's finding themselves that will solve their problem. Because if he does not find himself, he will still be a married man that destroys the woman in his life and still sleeps around like a married man, which we have them today. So which means, as single people and single men and women, we address it with finding self. Like from your word, picking your word. We don't address it by trying to, like, society is trying to say, okay, how do we solve this sexual immorality? Okay, let's get people to be married to each other. And then people get married to each other. And some pastor will be like, when people are single, you are trying to pray for them not to involve themselves in sexual immorality, for them to stop. And when they get married, you are trying to beg them to have sex with each other because they don't want to again. So it's almost like it is really a crazy thing in the society. And for me, I've never believed that being married makes you responsible, because of the number of irresponsible men that I've seen. And which means marriage for me, because I wanted to give a conclusion to that idea. It doesn't make you responsible. It gives you added responsibilities. It gives you responsibilities that sometimes you may not be prepared for. And which is why so many people get married. The woman she might love the idea of wedding events, marriage event, like the wedding day, wearing a white dress. I've never worn white, so let me wear white, and then like everybody else, put a veil on my face, get up there, I'll go to the altar. And you get to the altar and people come around, you dance in the ceremony, and then go back home, and we're not even ready to get a child. We're not ready to be a mother, because nobody told you that there's aspects of becoming a mother and taking care of a child. You were not even ready in your mind. And same thing with a man. You were not ready to be responsible for somebody's child. And like everything now is almost like it's on you. So because of that, it makes it so glaring that marriage doesn't make responsible people.
Not at all.
Responsible people become responsible because they want to be responsible. And thank you so much for bringing your thoughts to that.
You're welcome.
So this is what I think. I've heard a lot of men talk about it, like marriage doesn't benefit men at all because of the Nigerian situation. And then I would be honest to say we have a culture of men who now want to go after women that are rich, women that are well-to-do, so that they can plunge into the account and manipulate and control and whatever and
enjoy.
Make money, enjoy. So because it looks like men have been like cheated in this area, because the man has to provide, the man has to do this, do that, everything. Like, what is the benefit of marriage to a man, since it doesn't make a man responsible?
Okay. If we are to approach this, there seems to be a lot of, just like you had, I think, really, if you look at it, of what benefits is marriage to a man? But there are a lot of benefits.
Okay.
Why? Because the mysterious God that instituted it has a purpose in mind.
Good.
And whatever he does is what? Good. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Whatever he does is good.
Yeah.
God identified the need in a man. You know, the mystery of marriage is such that, let me put it this way, you may have unidentified need in your life.
Oh my God. Okay, let me sit well.
Do you understand what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
Unidentified need. So God himself identified that need in the life of Adam. And he said, it's not good for this man to be alone. There should be an helpmate. Remember, I told you that the first layer of mystery that you need to uncover as a man is self-discovery.
Yeah.
And in self-discovery is for you to understand your purpose.
Yeah.
And the truth about all of this is that your purpose is bigger than you.
Oh.
Until you have this understanding, you will not know how marriage benefits you. God is too big that he will not give you a purpose that is equal to your strength. Your purpose is bigger and greater than you, and God knows that you need an helpmate in achieving your purpose.
Thank you.
The reason most men may not really see benefits in marriage is because they are still far away from purpose. They are still in the journey of self-discovery. When you discover yourself and you unveil your purpose, you will see the reason for that help that God has positioned to help your life so that you can achieve that purpose.
That sums
I
it
don't
up.
know if I've said anything to
Yeah,
you.
powerful. That sums it up. Like that's so powerful. I love that you went the scriptural route and then you brought value out of it. I love your perspective. God saw a need in man that man did not know he had. Because the man did not, clearly, he didn't know that he had a need
He
problem.
didn't know.
God saw the need and then God filled in that need. Oh, and your purpose is greater than you. People, there's so much word of wisdom in this man. And thank you so much for clarifying that and then bringing your wisdom to that aspect. I really love to hear you talk about that. So when we talk about purpose in marriage, like you rightly said, that the area of a man can be in marriage and it doesn't know his purpose. And because of that, it feels like the marriage is a burden to him. So, but then another man can get into marriage and then with his purpose and he knows he needs help. He needs someone that will help him to fulfill that purpose. Now, as a man, okay, now with the sense of purpose that I want to meet a woman, how do I find the right woman for me? How do I find the right woman that fits me? Because, okay, personally, I'm a young man. I've met a lot of ladies, been in relationships, and then I'll be vulnerable with you to say, I've been scared about marriage. Really, really scared. Because I'm not because somebody will come and eat my money. As a man, I don't know if it's true with other men. I don't even have issues with somebody eating my money. I love to spend my money on people that I care about. I love to spend my money on people that I love. So if I love someone, they are definitely going to eat my money, and eating my money is the least of my worry for me personally. But then it's about redirecting my life, steering my life in a direction that might become the marriage is a distraction. The person in my life is a distraction because I'm not as ambitious as I was because I want to fulfill purpose. So I don't want to dwell so much on my ambition. I want to fulfill purpose. So I'm I really want someone aligns with this purpose thing that you talk about, because if it is not help meet, then I don't need the help. If it's not help meet, I don't need the help. So that is the part that I get scared about this marriage thing. So what can you advise me?
Okay. I'm trying to analyze the question.
Okay.
If I understand the question very well, is that how do I find the right woman?
The right woman.
Okay. Now, I'm thinking of the right word to use.
Okay.
In the sense that it is simple, easy, and equally it can be very difficult.
Okay, that's complex then.
Yes, you can see the complexity.
Yeah.
And that is why, we have lots of books on marriage.
Yeah.
We have lots of teachings on marriage. Any of the books you read, you will have one thing or the other to pick.
Yeah.
Any of the teachings you listen to, you will have one thing or the other to pick.
True.
But they may not help you.
You've not been told that.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
The reason being that in the course of my journey here on earth, not for so many years anyway, I've met people that read books, that listen to sermon, teachings, motivational speakers on marriage.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they still had issues in their marriage. At the end of the day, do you understand?
Yeah.
The question is, are those books useful? Very useful.
Good.
Very beautiful. Are the teachings useful? In fact, very lovely. Because there are lessons. Unfortunately, even in lessons, there are applications.
Oh.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because the same advice given to A may not work for B. Remember, we are dealing with mysterious beings.
Mysterious beings.
Do you understand? Now, how do I find the right person? Starting from where we stopped earlier.
Yeah.
Self-discovery.
Mm.
Self-discovery. Self-discovery will help you to even identify the unidentified need through the help of God.
Yeah.
That is first the starting point. Then number 2, that's the first layer I spoke about.
True.
The second layer is not something you can unveil by yourself.
Okay.
The first layer has to do with you unveiling the mystery of you yourself. Who am I? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The second layer has to do with the second person, the person you are looking for.
Oh.
And then who knows a man except the spirit of that man? So, in another way, let me put it in a way that, we may understand the spiritual perspective of it. And then we begin to talk of maybe the other aspect, physical and all of that. Who knows a man except the spirit of the man? Then if you have relationship with the Father of all spirits, it can be unveiled. But that is one way. Remember too that, part of what we grew up to know is that when you want to get married, pray and pray and pray and pray until God leads you to the person.
Or gives you a dream.
Or gives you a dream. And all of that. Because we believe so much in prayer. And it's important to pray. And I think that aspect is to handle what I've just said. Who knows a man except the spirit?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, the aspect of trusting God, is key.
Yeah.
But there are equally other things you need to do. There was a book written by Pastor Dele, Born Naked but Not Empty.
Yeah.
If you remember the book, when we were talking about purpose, we said what we grew up to know is that if you must discover purpose, it's the same way you need to pray God will show you in your dream that this is your purpose in life. Begin to walk in your purpose. And it's that same perception
That it brings to marriage.
that will bring into marriage.
Oh, come on.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Unfortunately for us, we've forgotten that God speaks by revelation. That is one way. God speaks through events. He speaks through symbols. He gives signals. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
There are lots of ways that God speaks to us, not just by dream, not just by vision, not just by. Why? Because you are dealing with a mysterious God that you cannot trap. You cannot trap and say that this is the only way God bring, wife or purpose or whatever to people's way.
That's so true.
Are you following me?
Yes, I am.
So how do I identify my wife aside the aspect of praying, which is one sure way? But then, is the surest way, but is the way that leads to other ways.
Yeah.
Do you understand now?
True, sir.
Why did I say is the way that leads to other ways? Because we have been told that by prayer is just by revelation. When you pray, there are events that God can orchestrate that will lead you to discovery of your partner. There are signals. There are signs. All of these will be what? Results of your prayers. Do you understand? So therefore, apart from looking for a godly person, looking for morals, looking for beauty, looking for, thin leg, tallness, looking for all the physical stuff.
Yeah.
After you have trusted God for a partner, let your spirit be opened and get to know that the answer to your prayers may not come by open vision. It may not come by audible voice.
Yeah.
It may not come by you dreaming. It may just come through certain signs.
Talk
It
that
may
talk.
Maybe I should stop.
Talk it. Say it.
Maybe I should stop.
Say it, sir.
Do you understand?
I don't.
Okay, let me tell you how I got to meet my wife.
Okay.
If it's prayer, I don't pray too much, but I don't think I'm doing badly.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah. So you're not a prayer warrior.
I don't think I'm doing badly.
Okay.
Do you understand? I think I have a level of relationship with God. I have my time consecrated for prayers.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But then, when I was to meet my wife, there was an event, that led to that meeting. There was a program, being organized, and I was selling the card for that program. It was more or less like a Christian meeting.
Yeah.
And then I gave the card to someone. My wife today saw the card with that person.
Yeah.
And she was interested in buying that card to come to that event. At that time, my wife was a copper, 7.
Yeah.
And then the cost of that card then, I think it was 10,000.
That was a big money.
That was a big money then. I'm talking of 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And the person told me about somebody wanted to buy the card for that meeting. Unfortunately, I didn't have any left. So she gave my number to the person that wanted the card.
Okay. This is interesting.
Are you with me? Just for you to know that sometimes God even answers our prayers in a mysterious way.
True.
It's just that we are not open enough to really know when our prayers are
Being
answered.
answered.
So I told that person, please give her my number so that she can put a call across. When I get the card,
Yeah, you can.
I can send it to her. And the next thing is that few days down the line, she called. Please pay attention to this. All I had was a voice asking me of the card. Just a voice. And I said, there's something peaceful about this voice. There is something about this voice. And that voice triggers, I've not met her. Meaning that I've not seen her physically.
Yeah.
As at the time she called.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I got your number. I don't know if the card is available and all of that. And there was something that was said in my spirit that there is something about this person.
Yeah.
And one thing led to the other. When I got the card, I called her over and then I gave her the card. With the other friends, we went to the program together, and that was a starting point.
Yeah, you guys became friends.
We became friends, and one thing led to the other. But there and there, from the first call,
Yeah, you already got a
I
signal
already knew that there is something.
about this person.
My next prayer is that, God, what are you saying about this person? What are you saying about this person? Can you see now?
Yeah.
So, what am I saying? The answer to your question is that be of open heart.
Okay.
After you have prayed, you may not see vision. You may not have any revelation. They may come.
Yeah.
They may come. But be open enough to know that you are dealing with a mysterious God that answers prayers in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
And the way he attended to Pastor Dele may not be the way we attend to you.
True. True.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The way he answered that for B may not be what will happen for Z. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I think that's a starting point. But if any man will tell you that this is the way, you will discover this is the only way. It's a deception.
Oh, thank you.
It may not work for you that way.
Thank you. So, does attraction have anything? Is attraction important in this process?
Why not?
Because some people make it look like it's all spiritual.
No. No.
Because me, I like fine girls.
Yes. Does attraction matter? Yes, it does.
Okay.
You know, I had opportunity of sitting with someone one day, and the same question was asked. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And I was saying that if I need to give you a gift, and I've given you opportunity to choose a container
Yeah.
that we package the gifts in. Already you know I'm bringing this gift to you. And you are telling me, Daddy, you know I always love it this way.
Good packaging.
Do you understand?
Yeah. That's beautiful.
The only thing is that the package may not be the focus.
Yeah.
But if I'm interested in the content, I may equally be concerned about the package, if I'm receiving it from my father. It may not be left for the father to package it in a way he wants. I've said two things.
Yeah, I've heard you.
But you must understand it too.
I've heard you.
Meaning that I can tell my dad, this is the way I want it.
Yes, sir.
If my daddy chooses to give it that way, beautiful. It may not be the focus there in actual sense, but it's equally very important. You can ask your father, I want it packaged in this manner. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. However, if it's not coming in the package that you want, what should you do?
Okay.
That is a question I expect you to ask after this one. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But the truth is that, why did God ask you to ask?
Yeah.
And he says, ask that your joy may be full.
Full.
It means that you can ask in a way that your joy may not be full.
Yeah. True.
And God is now pushing you to, he said, ask in a way that your joy will be full. Meaning that if you ask me for the content, ask me for the container that will be like the icing on the cake for you. So that when you see the whole thing, your heart will be gladdened.
You would love it.
Do you understand? But I bet you, if you ask God for the content and you equally plead and supplicate for the container you want, if it doesn't come in that package, which I doubt, God will compensate you.
With a better one.
He will find a way of compensating you.
Okay.
We had the Jara.
Yeah. I really love this because it's going to help people. You know, a lot of people just, these super Christians and hyper spiritual people make it look like it's all the spiritual things, spiritual eyes. I don't have spiritual eyes. You know, I read the Bible, I saw Abraham, and Abraham's wife was so beautiful that the worldly kings looked at her and be like, I want to have her as my wife.
Yes.
That's in Genesis 12, Abraham even gave his wife out to be married. Like, before I didn't know that Abraham actually collected bride price for Sarah's head. He did in Egypt. He collected bride price already, and until God intervened. So the next question I might ask before I go into, because I've seen that time is really running. Abraham, as I've discovered, was not a good husband in my opinion, respectfully speaking. But he was a good father. But he wasn't particularly a good husband because of the patterns that he operated even with his wife. So when I was younger, I'm leading to the question, all I thought about marriage was, you know, as a single Christian guy, what they tell you in church is get married so that you can get the sex thing out of the way. Because everybody's scared that you're going to have sexual immorality, as if God is scared. So, and then they try to teach you to get married so that with the fear of, so that you won't sleep with someone outside of marriage. And then I was planning that I would get married very early in my 20s. And I graduated from my 20s and I didn't still marry. I wanted to be married by 25. I really wanted it, but I didn't have the resources. And thank God that I did not, because I discovered that I wasn't even grown to do that. And why did I want to be married? I wanted to get married to fulfill the passion, you know, satisfy the passion. And then the sense of purpose, which you've talked about today, which is very beautiful to hear. I did not know it then. So now that I know it, I'm now more thinking of marrying for passion, just for sex, because I can keep myself if it means to be single forever like Paul. By the grace of God, not by my strength, but I'm responsible. I can do that. But then my question is, what should I look forward to? Like this exciting thing in your 15 years of marriage. What is this thing that you're really grateful to God for? That me right now, understanding everything you've said so far, what can I look forward to in my marriage? Like I know you talked about the need and the purpose, but then as a human, what can I really look forward to in terms of that communion of having someone with you? That is exciting. Apart from, you know, the passion, I'm not really after the passion. It's important, but then that's not the aim, the main goal.
Okay. Thank you for the question. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Now, if you go into the scripture, I think Ecclesiastes is talking about the power of two.
Okay.
About the power of two. That they produce heat.
Yeah.
The heat is not just the sexual aspect of it.
Yeah.
That passage said a lot of things.
Yeah.
That in case there is anything, one can stand, it can lift up the other, you know, can do this and all of that. You know, all of this is an aspect. What should you look out for? Having a beautiful home.
Wow.
You know, going out in the morning and coming back and having somebody to say, darling, welcome home.
Good.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
The last time I went to check my children at school, I saw them running and I looked at them and said, wow, I'm equally a father. I remember those days, you know.
Yeah.
The fellowship is real and good. Do you understand? You are at work and occasionally the thought of your wife flashes into your mind that you have an investment somewhere. It's an investment, my brother.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And then you have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 children and you are investing into their future. You are watching them grow. It's a business. It's an investment.
I love
Do
that
you
view.
understand?
I love that view.
My children, somehow, I don't know, I got so much, involved into their care, at least up to like 3 years. I'll be the one bathing them,
Oh.
dressing them up for school,
Yeah.
and, until maybe they are 3 or so before I will stop. And these same children, I now watch them now grow now.
Yeah.
You'll be watching and be looking. So the feeling is good.
I love it.
Do you understand? It's actually a beautiful thing. It may not, I don't know, maybe it may be somewhat difficult to explain to people that are not married. But the feeling is actually good.
Okay.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Especially when we are with the right person.
Good.
It can be hell, really. We can't rule that out.
Yeah.
But then the encouragement I will give to anyone that is in any toxic relationship is that it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
The truth is that it can get better. Do you understand?
Yeah, I get you.
So remember I said that marriage is between 2 mysterious people. So if I'm mysterious and my wife is mysterious, all we need to do is that, what that means is that if we are having friction in that home, in that family, what it means is that I haven't unveiled the mystery of self-discovery.
Yeah.
And my spouse too has not unveiled
The mystery of
the mystery of self-discovery. It means therefore that if we can give ourselves the chance of sitting down,
Yeah.
and begin to unveil, and unveil, from that point, the journey to a happy home will begin. I can bet you.
Okay.
I can bet you. Journey of self-discovery, we help to unveil. And then we get to, it will be better, I can assure you.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think I love the view of like that companionship. You call it fellowship, which I love that view because you talking about birthing your daughter is not Nigerian, African manish. Or birthing your children.
At least up to the last one, I think maybe because she happened to be a girl, I think I stopped about 3, when she was 3 years or 3.5, but at a point I will stop.
Yeah.
Because at that time, being but the one that a boy, I think I spent longer time, maybe about 4, before I stop. And
I love to hear that because most men feel like they don't have to, when they provide resources, like financial resources, they don't have any business again. So the woman take care of everything. And for me, I would just say my perspective. I'm not really in full agreement to that because I saw how my mom used to like navigate and it wasn't easy. And I didn't like her looking the way she was looking because of the stress, everything. And it's almost like the dad, once you give money, so you're done with your role. And hearing from a man, an African man that is not African, it's exciting to hear because it's almost like other men who claim like they are strong men or they are real men would call you a woman rapper because you're doing things that.
Well, but watching them grow. Yeah. Now, when they meet you that I was the one beating you.
Yeah.
You even put on my so we just make joke out of that. Yeah, we
and
laugh over it.
It builds a connection.
Yes, at least to a large extent.
Yeah, I'm learning so much, and which I really love that because I really want to be a present man. Like that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to a good home. And I spoke on another episode about trauma because I realized that most of the friction, like you said, some of the things about self-discovery has been covered up with trauma. And it takes a level of like self-discovery through walking to get healed from the past traumas that really get someone to a place of like, okay, I've discovered myself, because maybe the things that happened to you have caged you. I know you made a beautiful sermon about being caged, like you don't know who you are. So most of the things in our lives that happen maybe from our family are tamed us and caged us. And I love the fact that you keep repeating about the aspect of finding self. And for anyone here, if you've been traumatized, that can also be part of what is caging you, not allowing you to see purpose in life. And if you get to do self-work, self-discovery, to heal, to meet a therapist, that can really help. And personally, I can say I'm doing some therapy work, some healing work on some of the things that I've been through, because I really want to be a good man. And the next question I will ask before we close, because there's so many things that I would like to, but I would like you to come again because of time. The time has gone. I've really taken enough of your time, but then I would like you to come again, and then we can have another episode, another talk on some other things that I really want to talk about. So you talk about the aspects of some marriages being unhealthy. Like, people are going through toxicity in their marriage. So, and I know when people talk about healthy marriage, it might look like healthy marriage is not the same everywhere. So, but what is the true picture of what somebody can call a healthy marriage?
Okay. So, how do we define healthy marriage? We can have a narrow perspective.
Yeah.
Narrow perspective in the sense that, I told us before that what works for A
may not work for B.
may not work for B. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Find peace.
Okay. Peace.
And fight for it in your marriage, not for right.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And then, if you have your home and you don't compare it with any other one, this is my own.
Yeah.
Carry it as your own without making comparison.
Yeah.
That family, their husband, the brother and the wife, they have joint account, and your own spouse is saying that I don't want joint account.
Yeah.
And because of that, you will swear like grand square bread in the house, and there will be no peace.
Yeah.
Don't compare. Look for what works and produces peace in your own home, in your family. So, healthy home where there is love, that will be an expectation that, for the answer, that will be an expectation where there is love, where there is, but if there is no love, we will not even consummate the marriage in the first.
You don't have to get together, but people actually get together when there is not that the real sense of love.
Love is broad. Don't let us go there, because we will not live there because of diverse definition. What people think love is, is another deep thing. But on the face value, there must have been something that brought two of you together. Yeah. Do you understand? If you are genuine, there must have been something that brought you together.
Yeah, I love that genuine part.
Yes, if you are genuine, something must have brought you, together. And we can't rule that out. It could be the nose. It could be the smile. It could be the eye. It could be the leg. It could be the attitude, the charisma. It can be anything. But something must have brought you together.
That's good too.
Do you get now? But then when you are together, fight for the peace of that family. It's very, very, very key.
Yes, sir.
So the healthiness of your home, of your family, lies in your ability to fight for the peace of that family.
Instead of right.
Instead of right.
I love it.
Do you understand? That is it. Do you get?
Yeah.
If you can fight for the peace, to ensure peace in your home, I think that's the starting point. Your home will be healthy.
That's a good point.
Because after you've gone everywhere, you are coming back home that night.
You love to come home.
Lack of peace in the home is what you make husband to stay out late.
Yeah.
He will not think of coming home. The wife too will be scared the husband is coming. The children will be scared that their father is coming back home. Do you understand? And all of that. So fight for the peace of your home. And that will be a definition of healthiness for you.
Yeah.
And then you can think of other things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I really love that. I really love that. So I think this will be like a two-part closing question. Because, okay, for a young man like me, you might be considering finances to get married. I might be considering, and I would like you to come back and we can talk about love, because I know you have a lot to talk about love that are like less emotional, more practical. So it's for a young man that, okay, I really want to marry. Now I've discovered my purpose, but I feel like I don't have the enough resource, the capacity physically. I have the mental capacity. I have the emotional capacity, emotional intelligence. I know how I want to take care of my family. And because, okay, for me personally, let me just be real. There's a way I want to take care of my family. There's a way I want to take care of my woman. And I'm like, because of this way I want to take care of my woman, I feel like I don't have enough to take care of her at the moment. So I'm working hard. I'm trying my best to ask God to open doors, but what can I do if I really want to get married?
Okay. I love that question. And I think we've had conversation.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
A little conversation around it before.
Yeah.
One of the mistakes that people make, especially our youth,
Yeah.
is that in the course of pursuing purpose, they neglect every other thing. That happens to be the bad side of focus.
Oh.
There is bad in good, good in bad.
As humans.
and everything good at its own, bad. You say, what do I mean? I can focus equally as is bad side. You can be too focused and ignore every other thing. You will be like somebody that is driving, and the mother is just at the bus stop. Because he was focused, he didn't even see the mother.
Yeah.
That is what focus can do. But then what are we advised? Even though we are hammering on self-discovery, and then discovering purpose. When you know your purpose, in the course of pursuing purpose, don't ignore other important things. Carry certain things along, because when you get to where you are going, you will need those things. Do you understand?
Yeah.
When you get to where you are going, you will need those things, because when you get there, you will discover that you need the spanner, you need the screwdriver, and you need so many things that you abandoned. You thought you would never need them. Do you understand? What does that mean?
Okay.
If I have known what I need to achieve in life, if I have discovered my purpose, in the course of pursuing that purpose, I should carry relationship along. I should have a mindset that when I get there, I equally need something else that will help me to sustain and maintain that level. And marriage happened to be one of them.
Yes.
I've met a lot of, young men, even ladies. They say they are building career. I don't even have anything I don't want any man wahala now. I'm just focused. I'm just this. I pity you. When you get there, when you have achieved every other thing, you will not discover that you are alone.
Yeah, loneliness.
And at that point, you will discover that many people that will come around you will be those that want to tap into what God has blessed you with. God. Do you understand? Yeah. At that time, even falling into the hand of it, even you will be scared.
You'll be scared.
And at that point, you see many of them entering into one relationship, breaking up, heartbreaks, and because in the course of that journey, they didn't carry this aspect of their life.
That's so good, sir.
Your marriage is part of it, your health, and many other things that need to travel along with you. Don't ignore marriage because you are running after purpose. If you have achieved purpose, Then carry other things that will help the fulfillment of your purpose along. Because when you get there, you will need it.
So it
Do you
means
understand?
you may not necessarily have to fulfill purpose before you get married.
Your assignment is discover purpose. Do you understand?
Okay.
Because marriage, your spouse will equally be an assistant to help you achieve the purpose.
Okay, sir.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Your spouse will be what?
An assistant.
Will be an assistant to help you achieve that
Achieve the
purpose.
purpose.
When what's his name now? Adam
Yeah.
was busy doing something, and God saw the need for help. So there should be somebody to come and assist. If you have discovered it, even if you have not entered into marriage, consummate something.
Okay.
Carry something along.
Yeah.
You know, carry that bag along.
Good relationship.
A good relationship along. Be thinking about it. Don't ignore it.
Okay.
Don't block your mind completely that I must achieve this. Some people want to build their 10 houses before they get married. They want to be this, they want to be that before they get married. You know, you don't need it.
Yeah.
If you've discovered your purpose, you can begin to make little plans towards that. Don't ignore it totally. Don't.
Okay, this is very helpful. I believe it's going to help a lot of people because as a young man, especially with the culture we're living in, like I told you that I know God has a great future for me, but sometimes I get so scared about even the thought of marriage. But being around people like you actually spurs me to like think about it, because I do have a lot of conversation with you, and I'm like, okay, it can actually be good. And then I'm like, I don't really have enough. I don't have what it takes to get it done now. So hearing this from you is encouraging, because me knowing that I don't need to fulfill the purpose itself.
Sorry, can I add something to this?
Yeah.
There is no time you will have it all. And then if you have money, you can lose it.
Oh.
That is why if you have met with, the experienced ones,
Yeah.
they will always emphasize on the issue of purpose
Yeah.
and self-discovery. No one can take you from you.
Yeah. True.
No one can take purpose from you. You can lose the whole money on earth. As long as your purpose is intact, you will make the money
Make
back.
more. Okay.
Do you understand?
Right.
And the truth is that you can't have all the money. Do you understand?
Yeah.
There will always be
It's a growth thing.
do you understand? A step after the other.
Okay.
So if you have discovered purpose,
Yes, sir.
make other things that are equally very important. Carry them along. Very, very key.
Okay. In closing, because you just said something, and I would like to like make people understand that you've actually experienced what you've said. In closing, if you would like to talk about, you had money, you had a job. and then
Yes.
You lost your job.
Yes.
How did you feel at that period?
Okay.
What did you do? What happened?
Before I talk about myself, I will talk about someone,
Okay.
and then I will come to myself. And the reason I want to address this is because, just like you said, that the challenge of most young people is that I don't have enough.
Yeah.
A friend to my elder brother got married. He was working,
Yeah.
doing beautifully well. And a week after his wedding, he lost his job.
Oh.
What will you say of that? What will you say of that?
Sad.
Okay, can you imagine someone? There was a time there, I think, there was fire outbreak in one of the markets in Lagos.
Yeah.
Is that right? If someone happened to be a business owner and he has his market there
Lose everything.
and he loses everything, do you understand?
Yeah.
So you will discover that it's not just about having all the money,
Yeah.
because you can lose it. Coming back to myself, in the course of my journey, I was already married, and then I think I already have my first child. I was in the bank. It was a time of bank consolidation and all of that. Even though I didn't lose my job immediately.
Yeah.
But then one thing led to the other. I was transferred out of Abuja to a state called Bauchi, and I'm already pastoring a church here in Abuja. I was given a target here in Abuja, and I was transferred to Bauchi to go and meet the target. I have my customers here in Abuja. Then I was with Access Bank. And then going to Bauchi, no language advantage because I don't speak so much of Hausa.
Yeah.
One thing led to the other. I lost my job. Do you understand?
Yeah.
In fact, I think I've had my second child, if I'm not mistaken. You asked, how do I feel? But do you know what sustained my infirmity then? Because at that point, as at the time I lost my job, all I had on me then was that month's salary, liquid cash.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Liquid cash.
Yeah.
In fact, that month's salary was even prorated. Do you understand? What I mean by being prorated is the number of days you worked into the month. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And it was so bad that it was that weekend I got to know I lost my, no official letter communicating losing job. You just, you know, banking environment is so hostile. You just discover that you are no longer receiving mails. Do you understand? There was no letter to say your job is gone.
Or something.
But the moment you see those signs, the way I told you before that God can communicate to you through signs, they communicated to me through signs. Do you understand? So you have your wife, you have your kids, you need to pay school fees, you need to take care of the family and all of that and all you had. But surprisingly, it wasn't as terrible as I thought it would be. You know why? My home was at peace. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Thankfully to God, my wife did not give me problem.
Wow.
I was able to concentrate. I was able to plan. You know, I was able to do stuff. You know, look for a few things around doing and all of that. Before you know it, I set up a little microfinance, you know, with that same month salary and all of that. With that chocolate money, I started doing few things. But that was possible because the home was at peace. That is why I said that fight for the peace of your home. You need that peace. So I got back home, even though I couldn't tell her immediately I've lost my job, but she noticed that the way I was quiet, but she didn't trouble me. She didn't come up with excessive stuff. She didn't bother me. And I was able to concentrate. Do you understand? And thankfully to God, because God knew I had families to take care of. 3 months down the line, I got job in another bank. 3 months. God was faithful. But then the faithfulness too will be as a result of we were at peace and we could pray together and trust God for something better. Do you understand? So fight for the peace of your home. Ensure, do everything possible to maintain peace. In the time of storm, you will discover that your right will not matter.
So the peace
is the peace that will be the anchor that will hold the family.
Wow, this is a very refreshing conversation, and for anyone that is listening, I believe that you are being refreshed with this conversation, and I believe, like me, other people would like to have you back, sir. So there would be so much more to talk about, but then the time would not permit. And thank you so much for deciding to come and sit on my couch and have this conversation, because it is.
Thank you for having me.
It is so helpful for me, and I really appreciate. How can people support you, or do you have anything you're doing that people can, you know, get to know, or where will people follow you?
Well, I'm not very active on Facebook. So I have my Facebook account, and then I think when we talk about this purpose stuff, You know, there's a book I wrote on Born Naked But Not Empty.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon. The book is beautiful and it's loaded.
Yeah.
And part of the things I would like people to note is that God does not always communicate purpose through visions and dreams.
That's good.
The first point of communicating your purpose to you is through your gifts.
That's good.
If you discover your gifts, you can discover your purpose. You know, that book just communicates different ways.
Okay.
Apart from visions and dreams, that God will communicate your purpose to you. Possibly you are listening to this conversation and you are looking, how do I discover purpose?
Yeah.
You know, this man has been talking about purpose. Just make out time. You know, search for the book, Born Naked But Not Empty.
So I'm going to put the link up.
By Pastor Dele. It is just mind blowing. It's just about 100 pages or so. But you have so much in there to be of blessing.
We have the link. We have the link on the show notes and then the description, so that anybody that wants to purchase the book on Amazon, we are going to put the link in the show notes and in the description, so that you go to check out that book, Born Naked But Not Empty. That will help you in a direction of finding your purpose. And I would love to hear from you in the comment section about what you think about today's conversation. Pastor Dele is a wise man, of course. You can agree with me at this point. Maybe when I said it earlier, you would have said, I have a good relationship with my pastor, which I can say that boldly. And that is thanks to him for being a humble person and allowing me to eavesdrop on the things God has given to him. So it is my pleasure to have you watch and listen to this podcast. If you watch on YouTube, or you're listening on any podcast platform, it is a real pleasure of mine. And if you've not yet followed or subscribed to my channel, do so now. And at this point, we are at the end of this conversation. If you'd like to see more of Pastor Dele, please let us know in the comment section and let us know what you would like him to expound more. And we are going to have that conversation again. Your comments will help, so that when I show him, I'll say, sir, people are requesting for you. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you. More
Thank
grace.
you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Godly Conversations to the end. I am so grateful that you watched till this point. Let's make a commitment. If you are yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button. Give this video a like and also share this video. If you're listening on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or Spotify, anywhere you're listening, do well to follow and drop a comment. Let us know what you think, so you can check out other videos on this channel. Check the playlist and this other video, and stay blessed. I'm committed to your progress and I love you.